The Olympic champion was just defeated by a 17-year-old high school student by 1/100th of a second. Thinking he had lost, he dove across the finish line in Oslo. He had prevailed. Additionally, the Olympic winner made a public statement about this teenager prior to the race that ought to have served as a warning to all 800-meter runners worldwide. We'll address that. However, defeating the world and Olympic champion at the age of 17 is only the beginning. You must first comprehend Cooper Lutkenhouse's true origins. His journey began in a small Texas town with a father who was a high school coach and two older siblings who made his life extremely challenging. Justin, Texas, is a typical suburb where children attend school, participate in sports, and strive to keep up with their older siblings. It is a small town northeast of Dallas and does not have a long history of producing world champions. Cooper Lutkenhouse was raised in a home where rivalry was the norm. In middle school, he participated in 5 different sports, including wrestling. He watched Dallas Cowboys game footage with an obsession. Before anyone outside of Texas knew his name, the child was hardwired to constantly compete at everything. George, his father, was a collegiate athlete and currently serves as a district sports director. Northwest High School's principal is his mother, Tricia. The child who recently defeated the Olympic champion attends a school operated by his mother. In this house, everything revolved around improving oneself, demonstrating one's worth, and avoiding falling behind. A narrative of a church league basketball season is told by his mother. Cooper is a young man. He is 4 years older than his middle sibling. The younger child will be placed on a different team by most parents. Cooper hangs out with the older lads when Tricia throws him out there with them. Sometimes he outplays them because from the very beginning, the only thing Cooper Lutkenhouse wanted to do was prove he belonged somewhere he was not meant to be yet. The entire career may be summed up in that one sentence. In middle school, he takes up track and wins every event he competes in, but he never gives it much thought. It was his words, not mine. He claims that every time he set foot on the track, he truly wanted to win, but he assumed that was the case for everyone. He was simply going out there to compete and have fun. He was unaware at the time that this wasn't always the case. Cooper Lutkenhouse, an 8th grader, runs the 800 meters in 1:53 and 1:54. For comparison, 1:53 would be regarded as a serious personal best by the majority of adult recreational runners. This 14-year-old 8th grader is performing music. The Brooks PR Invitational is won by him. The Nike Outdoor Nationals are won by him. A little is noticed by the track community, the way it always recognizes when a tiny child runs quickly and questions if it will be able to keep up, because this is what it's like to be a quick middle school student in Texas. For the men who oversee the World Championships in the Diamond League, it means nothing. Professional track and junior national high school competitions differ greatly. It's not even close to being enormous. At an entirely different level, it is an entirely different sport. When he enters high school, he wins every 800. As a freshman, Texas won the Class 5A state championship. Next came the Class 6A state title the next year. He has never lost. Even while he is becoming faster every season, the larger sports community is still not paying close attention. And here's the difficulty with being the best high school 800 runner in Texas. The men you must defeat to establish your worth are not competing in Texas high school competitions. With years of international experience under their belts and Olympic medals around their necks, they are competing in Oslo, Stockholm, and Eugene. Winning Texas state titles is fantastic, but it answers absolutely nothing about whether Cooper Lutkenhouse can compete with the best in the world. The question must be forced by something. The person who creates the framework for Lutkenhouse as he transitions from an outstanding high school student to a professional athlete in 2025 is Coach Chris Capo. I'm still in high school, attending classes, but I'm currently preparing for the World Championships. One aspect of Capo's training of Lutkenhouse explains why he consistently wins major moments. The kick. Lutkenhouse has always had a natural trigger point at 200 meters remaining. In his own words, I really pushed from that spot ever since middle school. Music is not arbitrary. It has been drilled. The coach helps him develop that final 200 until it comes naturally to him, race after race and session after session. And that instinct transforms everything on August 3rd, 2025 in Eugene, Oregon. Eugene, Oregon, U.S. Outdoor Track and Field Championships. The age of Cooper Lutkenhouse is 16. He is competing in the 800-meter final against men who have been doing this their entire adult life, including Olympians, professionals, and former world champions. He is dead last in the places that count, in 7th place with 200 meters remaining. The kick then activates. In the last 200 meters of the race, He moves up from 7th to 2nd place with a time of 1 minute and 42.27 seconds, which is more than a full second faster than the U-18 world record. Surpasses Josh Hoey, Bryce Hoppel, and Brandon Miller, men who have all won Olympic medals and made it to the World Championship finals. After Donovan Brazier, he comes in 2nd overall. Hayward Field Stadium erupts. As soon as he witnesses it, distance running coach Steve Magnus says that it is the greatest athletic achievement in history and that it makes high school LeBron appear insignificant. The 16-year-old, who is the youngest American to ever qualify for the World Athletics Championships, will miss English literature class in order to travel to Tokyo. Now, the sporting community is not just paying attention, but also taking action. But Tokyo does not go to plan, and what occurs there is a portion the Lutkenhouse highlight videos tend to skip over. World Athletics Championships, Tokyo, September 2025. Lutkenhouse packs his coursework bag and takes a plane to Japan. He is 16. He is the youngest American competitor at this level in history. The reward is meant to be the event itself. In the heat, he goes out. A Texas high school meet really cannot prepare you for the tactical, physical, and nasty nature of the 800-meter world championship field. The world's top runners are skilled at boxing you in, controlling a race with their experience, and ensuring that a dangerous kicker never has a chance to go loose. Lutkenhouse doesn't move forward. He returns home. It's not a catastrophe. He is 16 and he made it there, but it is a pretty clear message. A thunderous kick and raw talent alone are insufficient. The global stage demands more experience and the kind of tactical wisdom that can only be acquired by repeatedly competing against the best, losing, growing, and recovering. The question is whether a child who has never truly failed at anything has the mentality to apply that lesson. Put it in the comments section now. At 16, would you choose to stay at home with your buddies or skip your junior year of school to attend the World Championships? Since Cooper consistently selected the race, I sincerely want to hear what you would have done. Poland's Torin, March 2026. The majority of Cooper Lutkenhouse's peers are spending their spring break at home, sleeping in, playing video games, going to the beach, and engaging in typical 17-year-old activities. Lutkenhouse is competing against the world's top middle-distance runners in the 800 meters at the World Indoor Athletics Championships in Poland. He wins in 1 minute and 44.24 seconds. The youngest individual world champion in track and field history, not just 800-meter history, not just American history, but the history of track and field at all events, dating back to the sport's inception. A 17-year-old from Justin, Texas, whose mother insisted that he attend prom, world champion. Then, 3 days before the Oslo, he made his diamond lead debut in Stockholm. In 1 minute and 42.70 seconds, he triumphs. Since the series began in 2010, the youngest winner in Diamond League history, the record had been in place for 16 years. Emmanuel Wanyonyi then makes a decision to appear. Before you to comprehend what transpired in Oslo, you must first comprehend Wanyonyi. Let me tell you about him. The most successful 800-meter runner currently competing is 21-year-old Kenyan Emmanuel Wanyonyi, who won the Olympics in Paris in 2024 and the World Championship in Tokyo in 2025. He deliberately avoided Stockholm in order to get ready for Oslo. He desired to be new. He desired to be prepared. Wanyonyi publicly stated prior to the race that he was fully aware of the challenges he faced. Cooper is great and looks really strong, he remarked. We are still here to hold the fort, but he is unquestionably the event's future. The current champion discussed the event's future. That wasn't a dismissal. That was a man who had to publicly acknowledge the threat because he valued it so much. He immediately set out to demonstrate that he was still the monarch. The most well-known middle-distance track in the world, Oslo Bislett Games, will take place on June 10, 2026. In its existence, the track has set 70 world records. The race ends quickly. As usual, Wanyonyi leads to the bell, dictating terms and controlling the pace with his strength and experience. Lutkenhouse follows him and bides his time. 200 meters remain. The trigger goes off. He establishes a gap entering the straight after taking the lead. Wanyonyi is not finished. He reappears forcefully, closing the distance meter by meter until it reaches the line. Together, they hit the tape. Photo completion. Lutkenhouse plunges. He really believes he has lost. He believes the Olympic champion just beat him at the finish line as he lands on the track. The time then increases. 1 minute and 42.08 seconds for Lutkenhouse. Wanyonyi's time was 1 minute and 42.09 seconds, which is the narrowest margin at which a professional athlete can defeat another 1/100 of a second or less in the blink of an eye. The child from Justin, Texas, who was meant to be at prom planning, who packed homework for Tokyo and skipped spring break for Poland, narrowly defeated the world and Olympic champion. 6 professional races, 6 victories, champion of the world indoor sport, the youngest Diamond League champion ever. 2026 is the world lead at 1 minute and 42.08 seconds. It was the 3rd fastest American in history. Now, take a moment to consider Wanjani, carrying the burden of being the best in the world. This athlete has spent 2 years at the top of the 800 meters, defending his title at every major competition. He arrived in Oslo prepared. He prepared especially for this race. Even though he gave it his all in the last straight, a 17-year-old who must go prom defeated him. You are aware of Wanjani's current thoughts. The future of the event is here, as he stated before the race. Whether he can maintain control long enough to reach LA 28 is the question. Following Oslo, Cooper Tier men's 800 is questioned about his immediate objectives. Wanjani is not mentioned by him. The world record is not mentioned by him. He doesn't discuss LA 28 or the Diamond League's next schedule. He claims he hasn't yet attended his school's homecoming. He claims he most likely needs to attend prom. He needs to start planning because his mother told him he must. Then he says a statement that ought to cause extreme discomfort for every 800-meter runner worldwide. He only responds, "I do not know what is possible," when asked what he believes is possible. Not pretentious modesty. Not a prepared response from the media. To be honest, a 17-year-old who has already defeated every opponent he has encountered says he hasn't